allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The agenda is in front of you. Does anyone have anything that they need to add or change? Okay. I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda. A second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Approval of the regular meeting minutes from July. Got that on the email, so I'll make a motion to approve those minutes. Sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. President's report. So I want to apologize because I think that in my nervousness and hurry that I did not apply best practices last meeting when we presented the idea of changing the date. And all in one meeting, you know, there was a comment from the floor, there was a check on a phone, and then we made a motion and voted. And I think going forward, that best practices would be better served if we, I don't want to also kick the can down the road for too long either. Somewhere in between, taking far too long to get to a decision and the immediacy of the night that we present something, I think would give us a better chance to reflect, do our homework, come back, troubleshoot, and when we are making motions and we are voting, then we've already figured some things out. So
in this case, you're talking about changing the meeting date.
case in point, the changing the meeting date.
Yes.
And once we made the motion and accepted, changed it to the second Tuesday of the month, we then discovered that we have conflicts and we have to deal with those, and they're in the old business to deal with. But I just wanted to say, like, I take responsibility for that. I think I kind of rushed ahead. And going forward, if there's something that comes up that isn't an extenuating circumstance, we have some change that we want to make or some motion that we want to make, we would present it one meeting, go home, do our homework, troubleshoot. It would be at least the second meeting before we would come back and make the motion. So we have a chance to process.
Right.
That, okay. The trustee training requirements, I have you given each of you the copies after I met with Ted. And one of my jobs in this particular role as president is that I have to track everyone's training. I gave you 2 sheets that explain the requirements based on education law. And once I track those, our training, I have to give it to Marion to report in the annual report for public and association libraries. So we are also supposed to have a policy, a trustee education policy. Hi, Josh. Which I do not see on the website. So I don't know if anyone else knows where there might be one. I do know we voted to make our trainings based on calendar year January. So the training would be January 2026 to December 31st, 2026. And I've included for you 2 copies. Did I not give one to myself? 2 copies of a form. Where did it go?
Here it is.
You have it? Okay. There's a self-assurance form that when you take a training somewhere that doesn't, here, there's 2 of them, so I'll give you one. When you complete a training somewhere that doesn't provide you with a certificate of completion, then you would fill this out, sign it, and turn it into me. And I will have a a spreadsheet that fills out what everyone has done. The mandates are sexual harassment training that SALS provides online, and then 2 additional hours. When you took the training for the cash card, the JP Morgan, what do we call that? The
Purchasing card.
the purchasing card, that counts. So that was your training in addition to the sexual harassment training. We also have an option, if we wish, to do a special meeting where we could have training that we all participate in together and record. But that, I'm just throwing it out there right now. We have time. I'm not saying that we need to do that, but if we were gonna do one of those handbook trainings and there was multiple people interested in doing it, we could just do it here. So that you have the requirements, you have the forms to fill out. Do you have 2 of them back now, or did I keep yours?
I have both. Do you want to?
No,
Do I
I have,
need
I gave 2 to each person because there's 2 hours in case you need to. If you need to make
Okay.
extra copies, fine. If you take a training that provides you with a certificate of completion, then just send me the certificate of completion, a copy of it, okay? And I have a file for all of that to record.
Have you taken the harassment training yet, Beth?
No.
Okay, I'll reach out to sales.
Yeah.
I'll give them your RFPL email. They'll send
Okay.
it to.
I did try to take a few trainings, but I honestly couldn't figure out exactly what the links were.
Yeah, it's
So-
sloppy now.
Yeah.
It's not like it used to be. It's
Yeah.
very sloppy on the Sal's website.
Oh,
They do have a new trustee training, which is.
Yes,
Good.
it's very good,
Oh, okay.
It will
Yeah.
Fulfill your obligations, but it also gives you a lot of information.
right?
Oh, okay.
And that's on site. At least it was when I took it. I went to Sal's in Saratoga.
It's on site and that's it.
And you get pizza.
Oh,
Correct?
okay. And it's and it's on their website.
Yeah.
would be able to find it.
Yep, or you
Okay.
can email the director and ask for the schedule if you want. Okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Any questions about that?
So are you saying we have a policy or we do not have a policy?
I don't see it on the
Yeah,
website,
I never
but we
really
are
have a
required to have one. However, I do know that we voted on when our time frame would be. So,
But there's not a policy.
but there's not a trustee education policy, and we do need it.
So you want me to write that?
That would be lovely.
Timeframe is January or July?
January to December 31st, yeah,
Mhm.
calendar year. Okay. And Josh, I don't know if you came in before I said this, but the 2 sheets with the requirements on it, I keep the chart and records, and then I give it to Marianne because it has to be reported in the annual report for public libraries. Okay, second item. Oh, actually, there's 2 other things to sign in the handbook. We all are supposed to sign once a year, the code of ethics, which is on page 157, but I didn't hand that out tonight. I want to look at it more carefully.
That's not legally required.
It is part of one of the things that we are, and a conflict of interest that we're supposed to sign.
Did you talk to Robert about that?
I will,
Okay.
but, anyway. We good?
And you're gonna send me a link to the sexual.
Okay.
Actually, someone from Sal's will,
Oh.
but I'll reach out to them tomorrow
Uh-huh.
and give them your email.
I met with the business officers, Darcy, Mary, I think her name is Michelle, at the high school.
Mhm.
And I asked for all the information that they could give me regarding our budgetary, if we were to ask for an increase, deadlines, what happens if it gets voted down, how does it appear on the proposal? So it would be a separate proposition. They have to have it actually by February, which means our budget work has to start, early. So, if the vote goes down, if it's voted no, we resort back to the 190,000 of the original charter. And so I'm thinking, I'm just saying this without, we don't need to take action, but I'm thinking we actually need to prepare two budgets. One that goes with the 190, if it goes down, we have to be prepared for that. What would we cut? And the other one, if we're gonna ask for an increase, we would have to compare the two and we have to sell it, write our little blurb to put in that newsletter that goes out from the school. By February. And yeah, and Marion earlier gave us the chart that shows what we're allowed to ask for.
Yeah, I gave that to you last time, yeah.
So I was thinking we probably should, I know it's a terrible time to start in December, everybody's busy and it's the holidays, but I was thinking, come on,
Free books in the back room, that's why we're in here.
hot tea, water for tea over there. You know, December, January, that's just 2 months, December, January, February, if we have to get it into them by February. Think about it. And, okay. Any questions? I did, oops,
Special.
yeah,
All the board can be there.
yeah, so we'll have to,
Would we want to start earlier, like maybe October instead, so that we're not cramming during the holidays?
we could. So we already have a conflict with, that's gonna come up in the old business with November and December meetings.
Right.
Then we may need special additional meetings. So,
If we're having committee meetings, even if it's the full board, they're committee meetings, they're no matter what, any committee meeting, is
open meeting,
right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a special meeting or just a committee meeting,
okay,
but it's, at any rate, they're all open public meetings, so.
yeah. But we just have to find, if we want everybody here, we have to find time when we can all
Yeah.
gather. And I know it's a very busy time for everybody
Yeah, so maybe starting,
in October.
yeah, or November at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe to discuss further next month?
discuss further.
Well, you said you wanted
I
us to
just
think
wanted to
on
give
things.
you, yeah, I just want to give you a heads up and I do want to, like, after we've all heard it, go home and think about it and come back and be able to, you know, have information from your own lives and thoughts. I did receive the claim voucher from Darcy Hastings to sign to get the check from the current budget. And hopefully in December, between December and January 1st, we would get that. The polling for interest, I was just wondering, I have to say publicly and officially, great thank you to Colin for all of the maintenance you do around here. Like you are here changing tables, painting walls, fixing floor bumps and I was just wondering if the rest of us had areas where we felt competence and interest, where we could, you know, say, hey, I'd like to be a liaison on that. I know Ted kind of tried to do that with, like, let's have a
Committee.
financial committee or a maintenance committee or something, and we're so small, it was hard to do committees, but think about an area that maybe you feel like you have an expertise or an interest specifically in for the library's future thriving.
Well, I try to basically do that just to help save some money. And there's times like Mary needed those signs and stuff put up. I've got no problem if I got the time. But here again, you call a maintenance guy in here, they charge you an annual fee. So I try to save us some money here. And that's, and I don't mind helping out when I have the time.
It's very appreciated though, and it's not nothing. You're putting time in it.
Attaboy, I'm not, I'm just saying,
to get-
if we can save 100 here and 100 there, it all helps. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, well, if I were interested in doing something with Friends of the Library, how would I go about that? Is there an organization already, Friends of the
There
Library?
is not.
There is,
So what I would say is if that's an area that you have an interest and feel comfortable, I'm just, I would say the first step would be you would become the expert. Like do your research with Sal's in the handbook and what is a Friends of the Library, what is required, what are the regulations, what are the,
And then there's also ways of doing that, if you're talking about doing fundraising, which is basically what Friends of the Library does. Friends of the Library is a particular organization that has particular rules and bylaws. So there are other things, if you wanted to just take on a fundraising role without forming an official Friends of the Library nonprofit organization, there's that option as well, so.
Yeah, forming a nonprofit is not something free to
Right.
do.
right,
It costs money.
yeah, I thought it might exist already.
No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't exist
It does
already.
have specific
Yeah.
rules about
Okay.
what it can do and what it can't do, and
But from what I do understand, that we don't need a official friends group to do
to do.
fundraising. I don't know about just having people come in and volunteer, but then Janice, you had done a little bit of research on that and said that,
Oh, I
about them
did. I
needing
cut
to
and
be,
pasted those.
to be vetted.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what that process would be. But, just having a core group of volunteers would be helpful in order to do fundraisers and,
Mhm.
just helping out around. I mean, that's something I'm going to be asking for when it gets to be my turn,
Mhm.
is some volunteers for different things coming up. So,
I do think we gotta be careful on the liability part of it. Like,
Especially what we were speaking about before.
today's world, yeah.
Yeah, well, the one document that, I think Sarah shared and then one that Marion shared or Maggie or something in the emails to all of us, I cut and paste, I like pulled out some paragraphs and, in terms of guidelines. So tips to eliminate some challenges of having volunteers evaluate your current needs before recruiting new volunteers, think about your future projects and events, reach out to all staff and ask if they need assistance with projects, make a list with assignments for volunteers and determine how many volunteers you'll need for each one, create a wait list. These challenges can be eliminated by having a solid volunteer policy in place. Do you have a probationary period? Have you set expectations of appropriate behavior and performance? What about volunteer dismissal? What happens if you have to say to somebody, you can't do this anymore? They bring anyway, you get the idea, right? So there's documents out there that can guide us, but we would need a policy, I think, for sure.
And would have to look at it. Yeah. and it would
And have
to have-
Robert look at it.
Yeah, and have training
Mhm.
requirements.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um,
well, Robert is recommending that he see all of our policies before we vote on them.
yes. Mhm. Okay. All right, that's all that I had. Any other discussion, thoughts, questions? Okay. All you, Colin.
All right, in front of you, I posted out all the expenses, that we've got going on. Also, as I stated last month, I'm breaking it down a little different, in the finance area. So as of today, you see what our current balances were, and then, the bottom states that I'm taking 20,000 out of the interest bearing account and moving that down, so that's gonna bring that down to the bottom line. And operating account is the bottom line, for that paragraph, just so everybody knows. And, the bank CDs stay where they are for it. So that's the way I broke it down. Marion's got her report, septic was done, 2020. Good job for us there. Got her report too. If you want to add one more thing to the bank. Other than that, she's got a lot of books in, so everybody should be happy. About the book, that's for sure. And, other than that, I guess that's all on her report, so I make a motion. Up to the monthly report.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. And Maggie?
I only have one thing, and that's that I, sent the change of our meeting to, the Chronicle and Post-Star.
Oh, thank
For their information, and told them the dates of the next two meetings, and said, let you know about November because there's a conflict.
Right.
So, just as a matter of record.
Thank you. Marion?
Yes. Well, I know my report looks long, but a lot of it is just because we've had a lot of programming. This summer, we've been very, very busy. But some news and some updates. The new window was installed on July 25th. I don't know if that was on this bill or last month that we finished paying for it. But Tammy recommended that we keep that under fiscal 25, since we initiated it in fiscal 25, that the entire repair should fall under that budget. And as Colin already mentioned, the septic was pumped out on July 16th by IBS. They did say that it wasn't horrible. And the LARAC grant was received and deposited, and that will cover the painting classes between now and June 30th. I did hear from Robert regarding the library use policy. I know we voted on it last month to approve it, as long as Robert was okay with it. And Robert did approve. He just made one small change at the very end under children. That children, because we changed it to children under 12. Children under the age of 12 must be accompanied, but then it said children under 13 must have a parental permission to apply for a library card. Simply just changed it so they're both 12. So I gave it to you so you could look over it. I don't know if you guys need to revote on it, but it's there. Thank you, as Janice already hinted, big thank you to Colin. He's rehung all the historical signs are back up on the wall, and those that have been down for quite some time before I started were down or up on the wall. And also, I didn't remember to write it in my report, but our children's room is kind of small, and we were blessed with a dollhouse was donated to there. And we want to put it up on a table, and there's just no room. And so Taylor and I have been racking our brains, and we've been looking on Marketplace, and Colin came in and I asked him, he goes, yeah, I can do that. He made our big Lego table 2 feet shorter. So now we've got room for things. And so that, saved us a little bit as well. And the table looks so gosh darn cute when I'm a little bit shorter. I don't know why, but it does. But anyways, we appreciate you, Colin, and all the things you do around here. I also got to have a special treat and sit in Officer Bunio's car last week and file an official complaint against the gentleman who tampered with our camera. And he said he would update me. I have not heard from him, but I do know via the news that the gentleman has been arrested from other charges and is incarcerated, I believe, in Saratoga County. And then just another reminder that I will be on vacation August 31st through September 7th. And I do plan to have the survey. We are tweaking it. We've got it down to 1 page. Last year it was 2, to be to the school. I'm hoping before I go on vacation, but at the latest September 5th, I've gotten permission from the principal to backpack them home with the kids. So, and then under items to discuss, our summer wrap up is on August 23rd. That's going to be similar to the opening. We're going to have different craft stations and games, make your own sundaes. Stewart's blessed us, and it's in my freezer, and we have enough to do it again. Yay. So I'm going to be looking for volunteers for that, probably 6 to 8 different volunteers. And then on August 30th, that's the day that I actually leave for my vacation. My plane is in the evening, and I need to leave at 1 o'clock, which initially was not going to be an issue, but Taylor's grandfather has passed away. And she would like to use one of her bereavement days because the memorial service is that evening. So depending on what you guys want to do, we can close the library at 1 o'clock that day. It is Labor Day weekend. Or if we can get a volunteer to come in for 2 or 3 hours, then we can stay open.
I can come in from 1 to 3, but I do have a show that evening in
Okay.
Albany. So I would need to leave by 3, but it would keep us open a couple more hours.
So
That's Friday.
Saturday, because originally it wasn't an issue and Taylor's just like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, sweetheart, you can't control when people pass. If you figure that out, let the rest of us know. Doesn't ever happen conveniently. And she certainly, is entitled to the bereavement. So,
I would say, James, if you're willing
I
to
got
come in to 3 and close at 3, that'd be my suggestion.
I got it.
Labor Day weekend, I would think we'd be very busy.
yeah, Claire looked at the stats from last year and probably 85% of what we did was but done by 2 o'clock last year. So
So I've been reading them by the river.
there you go. It should still be warm. There you go.
Now it's going.
And then, as Colin already alluded to, IBS recommended that we put what they call a riser and then a cap to locate the septic. They're saying $4.99 an inch. We do need to double check on that. The gentleman that did the pumping was not 100% on that. And that the lid is about $110. I'm not sure how many inches it is down. But that would mark it so that it would make the septic easier to find. That being said, I did make a new drawing, an updated drawing that actually included the addition on the library. It's not going to make it into any art museum, but I know Colin had some thoughts on that. I'll let him take it from there.
I feel it's very important. Because, I mean, 3 or 4 years from now, we'll be right back in the same boat, wanting to know where this is, what's going on with it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Most generally, that's what they do today. It's just, it's a plastic piece of culvert pipe. It sits on top of the tank and it comes up and it's got a nice plastic lid that's screwed on. Even if they unscrew the plastic lid, they still can't get into the tank because that cap is still intact. So I recommend we spend the money. That I can't foresee if there's much money.
So we should make a motion and do that right now. We can do that. We don't need to go home and do homework on it.
No, right now we got a plastic bucket sitting out there.
Yeah, looks very unsightly.
Okay.
So I'd make a motion if we go ahead and spend what it is, which I
I would imagine it'd be more than $200.
it's 110 for the tap and then it's $5 an inch. I can't see it being more than 24 inches. So
We go up to 350.
yeah, that's what I would think. Gosh.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
So Josh, you're making the motion to approve up to 350.
To approve spending up to $350 for the septic tank capital project.
And then who?
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
And then you guys also have a packet with a paper clip, where I have obtained 3, bids, estimates, from different places that do, circulation desks. As you know, we want to upgrade ours to make it ADA compliant. And I understand that it is stipulated that whether or not we do that is based on whether or not we're able to get the grant. But I have to have financial information for the grant. So what I am asking of you is to look at those 3 quotes. I am recommending the one on top, which is Specialties Unlimited. He is the lowest and he's local. And he's also the only one that's come and actually measured. All the others are just trusting my measurements. And I don't know if I would trust my measurements on a project that big. But to just, I guess, to approve, to go ahead and use that estimate for the purposes of applying for the grant, understanding that we're not approving doing the desk. We're just approving those numbers for the grant application.
Would it be better to go with like the middle of the road, estimate just in case prices change in the meantime?
Yeah, that's what I was
Just
just
for the purpose
suggesting.
of applying for the grant.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I
So
think
this
I
is
would-
where I think we take this home and think about it with those thoughts.
Well, we don't have a lot of time because the
Oh,
deadline is August 29th.
Oh, then we can't do that. Okay.
So, I
I
mean,
would bump it. Like Josh stated, I was, where you got there with specialties, 20,000, a little over. I would bump it to 25,000
okay,
in your proposal for.
Or if you need to show an estimate, just go to 32,000. One, but I believe I've worked with specialties on that. I think he's a really nice guy.
he is. Mark is very nice, and he's actually said that, because I asked him, I'm like, how much should I buffer this? He was in the other day. And he's like, don't worry about it. He says, I know prices change. He says, if I have to take a little hit, I'll take a little hit, you know. He apparently did do the existing desk, and he said it's at least 30 years old. So we're due. It's not super safe. Last summer, a shelf fell and almost hit Claire on the head, so not a good idea. But I also realized that we have to be sensitive to the budget, and I just want to do all that I can to get the grant, and hopefully that will entail it. So I will make a note.
Are we voting though? Josh, are you making a motion?
I don't know what we need to do. That's why I brought it here.
Just for the, okay.
Yeah, that's why I brought this to you. This is new territory for me as well.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right.
So, and then, the rest of it is, statistics. You will see by our numbers that, we have been very, very busy. We have had a lot of programs. We have many more upcoming in August. And then, my typical list. And then we have the chart. If there's errors, I apologize. I did this because Miss Claire is on vacation. But it's also our first month of the fiscal year. Claire says that number of 1,136 patrons for the month of July is an all-time high since she's been here, definitely since I've been here. So patronage is definitely up. We're very pleased, and everyone just comes in and they just love the space and how wonderful it looks and so pretty, and it's just, and they appreciate the girls out front are super friendly, so we love hearing that.
Thank you.
And
As far as in programming, what's the module?
the game, the tile game. We did it in the spring. We had a couple of ladies come to us. They came in and actually taught. They did a 4-week class, which you can take at ACC for like $90 a head. And they did it for free. And the kind of a group has spawned off of that. I think some of the ladies are from the Forest Lake community. And we have between 6 and 8 ladies here just about every week. They just come sit at a table and play, and we have the tea, and they just have a grand old time.
Will read at Wayside Beach be similar to when you go to the park, stuff like that? Will you
Yeah,
close the library per se, close the building and go there? What do you?
no, it's just Taylor. Taylor has been going to Hadley Youth every Tuesday. Today was the last day doing craft. And then Wayside Beach, that's what she does. She takes the stories, the craft there. We work with the Forest Lake Association, phenomenal group to work with. They have provided the crafting supplies. They have provided snacks. They provide volunteers to help with the programming.
Is it the Lake Luzerne Association?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, the Lake Luzerne Lake Association, yes. And so we've done a total of 4 children's programs and 3 adult programs with them this summer. So it's been they were pivotal in helping me have any programming last summer. So they've been a phenomenal organization to work with. They love their libraries.
Yeah.
Read by the river about that.
It's out back. We have blankets. We set some ice water up out there and some cookies, and people are free to bring their chairs. And Janice has been here both the last 2 weeks, and it hasn't been a huge crowd, but the people who come seem to really enjoy just kind of being out there with the breeze and listening to the river. And
Caroline's been here.
it encourages reading, which is what we're really about.
Is it blankets
Blankets or, yeah, and people can bring their own chairs if they want, water. I mean, it's just an opportunity to come and read with other people and in a beautiful setting. I mean, if wishes could turn into money, I would have chairs out there and picnic tables with umbrellas permanently and boost the Wi-Fi out there. And that still is a dream. I know it's probably not this year, but I would love to do that. I've had many patrons say, you guys have such a beautiful backyard. It's too bad you don't have furniture out there to sit on. And like, well, it's the dream. We're working on it.
Okay, so, we discussed last month and we have to vote, we just, on the change in the manager's evaluation schedule. So I would like to make a motion that we accept Marion's proposal to move her, review to the fourth quarter of the calendar year. All right, all in favor? Aye.
We should probably do the library usage policy, so we actually change the text of the policy.
What?
The text of,
We vote on the library usage since there's.
Oh, the one with the 12-year.
yeah, basically I changed the 13 to a 12. That was it.
Did you vote on signing?
So I'll make a motion to,
Did you vote on the, on Marion?
Yeah, we just did, we just passed it.
Fine.
Yeah.
I don't suppose it- Right, yeah.
Yeah.
then I'll make a motion to approve the library usage policy.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so adjustments for conflict with new meeting schedule. When we go to the second Tuesday of the month, in November, we, have moved, that would mean we're on Veterans Day. And in December, it would mean that Marion's on vacation, could not be here. So we have November and December, my calendar. Where the second Tuesday of the month for our meetings is problematic. So.
So just my input, I won't be able to bounce around a bunch of times.
Okay.
On Tuesday nights, that's Bible Institute night at
Yeah.
our church, and so I changed the entire church schedule for library meetings, so I
Right.
won't be able to bounce around.
Right, okay. So. Thoughts?
I don't think we can meet on Veterans Day.
Okay. So in November, if we can't meet on Veterans Day, do we go the 4th? That would be the first Tuesday, moving it up, or the 18th, the third Tuesday back where it was originally. Okay. And, all right. So I'll make a motion to, I don't wanna not consider that, Josh, that you can't bounce around, but we have to do something, so
I think what we can consider is, you know,
you won't be,
there are standards that say trustees have to, come to library meetings.
Right,
And if they're
right.
absent too many times, then that's a problem.
it's
I think
3, if you miss 3.
But I think what we can do, since
Yeah.
since you're making this change that Josh has already.
Yep.
Commented, well, we can say that we're not penalizing him. for
Right.
missing these two.
Gotcha. Okay, so I would like to make a motion that we move the November board meeting to November 18th.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then the December meeting is currently
December 9th.
December 9th, and we could technically still meet, but Marion can't be here.
No, because when I booked the vacation, obviously the board meeting was scheduled for the 16th.
Right,
Or otherwise I
right.
would not have booked it for
Right.
that week.
So we can do, I mean, so we either have to meet with our Marion or with our John. So we can make that decision. We could also, Marion, you could see if you send us a,
Could one of the other girls step in, Marion, and give your report?
or could you give us your report in
Even if it's
advance?
just
I could
running.
probably, well, I would have to have it done ahead of time. Yeah, even if you bumped it to the 16th, I'd want to have it done
Right.
ahead of time, or at least largely done. I mean, yeah, I could probably email it to you. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, my emails are, my reports are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Um,
So
the
we'll
big
keep
thing
it
that would be
December.
happening on the 9th is I would be looking, and I can mention it in November, is the 13th is gonna be hopefully our Sweets with Santa. That's gonna be the big thing needing volunteers for, but that's not,
We'll leave that.
So we'll take your report but you won't be here on the 9th, but we're gonna leave the meeting on the 9th. So the only change we've made is the November meeting to the 18th. And if,
I mean, if you need somebody to read it, that's fine.
I think we can do
And
it. We got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people could look ahead, in the next year, in the next several months to see if there's things that we've missed now with the reschedule, a conflict that we have to deal with, let us know by next meeting. Okay, did that. On old business, the last thing I had was the budget committee meeting, to include the full board. And I had begin in December, but didn't we just talk about October?
Yes.
So we don't actually have a date for that though.
Maybe that's something that we can all look at.
Look
schedule
at.
and start looking at when we would be able to meet, come up with some idea, how often we, what dates work.
Okay, all right, so it's gonna stay on old business for next time to figure out dates and.
We met, what, every other week, Colin?
Pardon?
We were met every other week when we did this most recent budget?
You're talking about is for
The 2026 budget? No,
budget, we're talking.
It's
about-
avoidance of having negative numbers too, right? That's-
Right.
that's the purpose of it.
To
right,
try for that, yes, or, yeah,
yeah,
If we're starting to make that goal.
right, you can have.
right,
The only reason that we would need a budget if there was increased request in February, otherwise we don't need it better.
Right.
So we definitely are focusing on
But you're
that.
looking for board for meeting for proposal for the new school budget. Is that correct?
Well, we made a commitment to balance the budget by 2027, so.
Correct.
So that, if that means cuts, we have to do some this year, some next year or whatever, we have to decide that. If what it means is that we've looked and we don't really want to cut, we're gonna go for it and ask the school, ask the voters, the taxpayers to increase the taxes that come to the library, then our budget with that tax increase has to be in the hands of the school district to put out in that budget letter by
like
February.
we're working. Honestly, I think it might end up being a combination of cut and increase.
Right, so, so we're gonna look at dates.
Do we have any idea whether the budget for non-library things, whether there's gonna be an increase?
There's always.
Yeah.
They
There's always a school district increase, yeah,
Yeah,
always.
yeah, just, it's regularly, they try to keep it to a small percentage, but,
I think they're required to keep it to 2%.
yeah,
But then there's also other propositions for buses and other special.
and that's what we would be a separate proposition. And we have to also alert them that there's, Josh, your term is up at the end of this year, right? You have to run in the spring,
I don't remember. That's what
it's your third
I think
year,
so.
I believe.
I think,
So they
I
have to
think
be
so.
alerted to that, and then whoever wants to run has to have their petitions in by April 1st, okay. All right, then for new business, we will be working on a volunteer policy. Right?
And what we say, would you like me to work on volunteer policy?
Working on, well, what I will do, can I help you? Can we work together?
I mean, I think I have the same information that you have.
Mhm.
Yeah, I sent her
I
the
did,
same stuff.
yeah, Some of that research. I also took a training which I thought was on volunteers, but it was not valid for what we're doing at all. It was like data tracking of your enormous volunteer contingent.
Oh, the enormous volunteer contingent.
I would love to have that problem.
Yeah, I can look at it, Janice, and I'll reach out to you.
And the other thing we kind of added to that is the trustee education policy.
Yeah, I have that one.
You want to work on the volunteer and you work on the education, that's up to you.
Sure, if you want to do that. Great. Jay.
Okay,
I'll just forward that information back.
all right, time for public comments, if there's any. Not to put you under any pressure, but.
I just wanted to say one thing on Joel and Parsons, I live here in White there. Don't know me. That I've been coming to the Friday afternoon reading by the river, and it's been really wonderful. It's so nice to be able to, it's so hard to set aside time to read during the week and to say, okay, this is a time when we can just do that and set that aside. It's been just really great, so I really appreciate it. And the cookies have been great, and the water, and
Awesome.
the hospitality, and the weather.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll
And the
keep
back
praying
and
for
the
that.
river, the sound of the falls
It's
going
always
by,
wonderful,
it's so
yeah.
beautiful.
So,
All right, thank you. Then I move that adjourn the meeting, 7:16. Someone said second. All in favor? Aye. Adjourned. Gentle.
I've met him and talked to him a bunch of times. I'm hoping to kind of follow up with him and hopefully